Hi, Gary Friedman here, and welcome to the Friedman Archives blog. You know, I write a lot of books about a lot of cameras, and people always ask me, Gary, do you keep all the cameras that you write about? And the answer is, I don't always, but I do tend to hang on to the ones that are my favorite. And I thought I'd give you a quick 3-minute tour of the stuff I have in my studio. So, here's the studio. Welcome. A small IKEA window shade serves as a nice backdrop. A couple of Alien Beast flashes, nice. Some of my more favorite cameras are actually on display here in the glass case. Now, if you see my other videos, you've seen these cameras before because they all tend to make guest appearances. SRT 101, XE7. This camera goes to 11. XK motor with a 3.5 frames per second permanently built-in motor drive. Ooh boy. There's also an X700 here. I got a lot of flack from a lot of people when I was talking about the 10 best Minolta cameras ever made, and X700 wasn't included in that list. I don't think it was the favorite. It was the most popular. I have one, as you can see, so you can see I'm not too biased. And a few others as well. I got some others. I got some contacts. I got some, this is my dad's Army camera. It's like a film format I've never seen before. Ricoh 35, there's a Pentax K1000 back there, and if you remove this contact, there's a Zenit, my favorite. Also, my favorite in terms of technology are 2 Polaroid SX70s. Very, very nice. What else is in here? As you might expect, I got a handful of lenses, and I got a couple of camera bodies. Each of them excels in its own way. So some of the classics are over here. These are some of the Sony Minolta autofocus cameras. And again, all of these have made guest appearances in my videos from time to time. There's an Alpha 700, there's a Maxim 7, the film one, Alpha 9000. I'm going to show you a couple of really unique peripherals for that in just a second, and a few others up on top. In the middle shelf are some of the inventions I made over the years. That's the subject of another video. We won't go into that. Down here, we got some really classic Minoltas. What is that? Maxim 7D, the first one of the best 6 megapixel cameras ever. Here's a Minolta XK without the motor. Still works. This is the last DSLR that Sony ever made. This is the Alpha 550 and the Alpha 55. These two cameras were made at about the same era. One had the fixed semi-transparent mirror, the other one had a conventional mirror that flipped up and down. Based on my book sales alone, I can tell you this camera, the SLT architecture, outsold this by about 100 to 1. So that's probably why Sony decided to stop doing it. Here is a very rare thing that I actually bought from David Kilpatrick, publisher of Cameracraft magazine. These are Minolta Portrayer filters. They were unique in the fact that when you put it in front of your lens, it will soften just the skin, but nothing else. How does it know? It wasn't digital. You can't do high frequency separation on a piece of glass, can you? Anyway, that was a very cool thing. Here's a couple of interesting peripherals. This is for the Maxim 9000. Remember I mentioned best camera in the world in 1988, that one there? This sits in the hot shoe. It's a data receiver. And you use it in conjunction with this, the Minolta Flash Meter 4. The Flash Meter 4 has 2 extra buttons on the back, and you use it like this. Normally what you do, if you're taking pictures of a crowd of people, you'll put your camera on a tripod, run over to the front row, and take a reading of the amount of light hitting the person or people. Then you would run back to your camera, dial in the f-stop and shutter speed that the meter indicates, and then take the picture. Well, a lot of the running back and forth is now eliminated. With this, you take the meter reading once, and then you turn the meter over. You press one button, and it transmits the information, the f-stop and shutter speed, to that device over there, which is sitting on top of the camera. Then you press the other button, and it takes the picture. No more running back and forth. Genius! What else? I got a tilt shift lens over here, which is kind of obsolete unless you're a purist. A couple of lenses that Leica and Minolta have built together. That's about it. And what romp through Cameraland wouldn't be complete without a few RX100s, which are my most used cameras ever, and a stack of Cameracraft magazines, because hey. So, that's about it. Thanks very much for doing this. My name is Gary Friedman, and I have too many cameras.